So in Today in Politics, the EFF taking its voter mobilization campaign to KZN this weekend with leader Julius Malema visiting a number of communities and voter registration centers. So in Pietermaritzburg, Malema was met with, call it, a hostile reception when ANC supporters blocked his entourage from entering 3 voting stations. The EFF playing a major role as kingmaker after the 2016 municipal polls, but this time around, the party is hoping to get its first mayoral position. So to get a sense of how they'll get there, let's bring in the EFF's Treasurer-General, Omphile Maotwe, who joins us via our video link. And Omphile, it's great to have you on the program. Thanks so much for making time for us here on the AM Report. Let me begin perhaps with what's top of mind for many people watching our program this morning, and that's essentially what unfolded in KZN yesterday. EFF leader Julius Malema saying that he's going to lay a complaint with the IEC. I mean, your reading of what took place there?
Good morning, Ayanda, and good morning to the viewers of AM Report on Newzroom Afrika. Yes, the ANC continues to be intolerant politically to other opposition parties. I mean, what they did yesterday is really nonsensical. 27 years into democracy, we can't be seeing what we saw today. And it's actually even more painful. None of the ANC leaders has come out to condemn their members who deliberately wanted to stop the president of the EFF from seeing the vote.
Apologies, it looks like we've lost our connection to Omphile, typical of living in a virtual world, so to speak. Omphile, I'm not sure if you're able to hear us now. Whilst you were speaking, we did lose a bit of what you were saying. You're still just, I guess, framing for us what you're reading of what took place yesterday.
Yes, so I was saying it's very even more painful that no leaders to condemn their members for doing what they did in KZN. It can't be that 27 years into democracy, we still have those so-called no-go areas. So the ANC should really be embarrassed and ashamed of what their members did yesterday. It's uncalled, it's nonsensical, it can't be promoted in the society, not now. So we are going to be laying a criminal charge. We're going to be laying a complaint also with the IEC because we want to have free and fair elections. So if you go to an area and you're prevented from campaigning or from doing your political work, then how do you then go and say this was a free and fair elections? So it can't be, and we don't want to be the ones to be saying the elections were not free and fair. We want to participate in this democracy freely and fairly like everybody else. And you'll never see this happening to the EFF. You'll never see the EFF preventing other political parties from accessing some areas, even though we have strong presence in those wards. So it can't be correct that we want to access the voters. So let the voters decide who they want to govern. Let political parties not be the one to prevent our people from accessing and knowing what other political parties could offer, because it's already a sign of a loss for the ANC that they know that they're going to lose, and they know that they're going to lose because they have not been providing services to the people. So the people get tired of the ANC. The people want to hear what other political parties are saying. So let it be the people saying to us when we do door-to-door and community meetings, telling us on our faces that we don't want you EFF, we are happy with the current situation that we have.
With that said, the EFF is also hoping for its first mayoral position after these polls, but that's happening in a context where even some of your voters don't know who your candidates are for the different cities. Does it make sense to leave that unveiling for so late? I imagine it's going to take place on the 26th of October when you launch your manifesto, but are you not worried that that might be a bit too late considering your ambitions?
No, so I mean, even in the past elections, we never had different phases of our campaign. We've got the EFF that the people are voting for. So who we put as the leader of an institution, it's entirely upon the EFF, and we don't go around putting faces of people on our campaign. So the face of the EFF has always been the commander-in-chief and the president. Because we are one EFF, we send one message. So on the 26th of September, we are not unveiling the faces. We manifesto, which is our commitment, our policy, our aims that we seek to implement when we take over the municipalities. So you will not see any other face except the faces of the councillor candidates, ward councillor candidates. So we will not have the mayoral candidates the same way we did not have the premier ones in the previous elections. So that is the EFF. We don't have different and many faces. We've got one face, which is the EFF, which is led by the Commander-in-Chief and the President, and then we will then deploy our people into municipalities on the 2nd of November after the day of victory.
So you don't think it would work in your favor to at least have, for instance, someone living in Johannesburg know who would be their mayor if the EFF was to get in charge?
No, it will not. And it will not even disadvantage us. So our people, our message to the people is to say, listen on the 26th what the EFF is offering you. And watch what we have been doing from 8 years ago when we were formed. And then you can put your trust in what the EFF is and what the EFF stands for. It is not about Omphile, it is not about the faith, it is about the organization. So as the organization, what are we promising to do to our people? Because when you go into municipalities, when we put the mayor there, it will not be the mayor that fails. You, as a news reporter, you will be saying the EFF has failed in Johannesburg. So let us put the EFF before, let us put the EFF at the forefront and not Omphile or Ayanda. So the people must know that it will be the EFF that is governing. And when anything goes wrong, you don't blame it on any individual, but you blame it on the organization. And that is the message that we are trying to put to our people.
It's an interesting strategy, and I guess we'll only find out after these elections whether or not it works. Let's also speak about where you are hoping for an outright majority win, though. We've heard some members of the party saying that that's absolutely their ambition, and it makes sense, because why not compete if you're not trying to get an outright majority win in certain municipalities? So where do you reckon the EFF strength lie at this stage?
Look, firstly, Ayanda, we go into this thing for a win, right? We registered 4,468 candidates for each and every ward in South Africa. We are the only political party that has registered that number of councillor candidates. I mean, you have seen the ANC, they have not registered everywhere like they used to do in the past. The DA has always been their strategy that they don't register everywhere. They pick and choose according to their strategy where they want to, to participate. So you'll not have the DA participating in each and every ward in South Africa. But the EFF, we've paid for and we're campaigning for each and every ward in South Africa. So that is the first point, to say we want to win each and every ward. That's why we paid money, and that's why we are allocating resources for the 4,468 wards. But yes, there are low-hanging fruits. Like eThekwini is a low-hanging fruit, Nelson Mandela is a low-hanging fruit. In actual fact, all the metros are low-hanging fruits, with the exception of Cape Town, of course. Cape Town, we're going to disorganize them big time. They've been in a comfort zone for a very long time. So we are coming very strongly in Cape Town. But if you look at the rest of the metros, those are low-hanging fruits, they are winnable, and we're going there for a win. But also municipalities like your Rustenburg municipality. In rural provinces, we've got many small municipalities that are very low-hanging fruits. So the people generally are tired of the ruling party. The people are not receiving the services that they should be receiving, Ayanda.
Right.
And it is time that they change their votes. But what is also interesting is that we've got now young people who are coming out in their numbers to actually vote. You've seen our campaign this past weekend. And it's not true, by the way, to say that the EFF has taken their campaign to KZN. We are everywhere. I mean, I was in Mpumalanga. The deputy president of the organization was in Eastern Cape. The national chairperson was in Northwest. The deputy secretary-general was in Northern Cape. So we're everywhere. And not because, you can't say we've taken our campaign to KZN purely because the commander-in-chief and the president of the EFF was in KZN. You want to project again. You want to take us back to projecting again the president of the EFF as if is the only, and it will be the news reporters who are coming with that. So all the officials, all the commissars, the Central Command team members, all of us were on the ground in each and every corner of this country campaigning. So, yes, we are going to prioritize and say, where exactly do we, according to our strategy, where do we put more resources? Because we can't have all 4,468 wards having equal resources.
Yeah.
So we are going to prioritize and say, what do we then do with this municipalities or these wards?
Right.
So after the privatization, we will then allocate resources accordingly and we'll take our fight like that. And we believe that we will be able to win over the hearts of our people. But also, Ayanda, what came out of this past weekend is that even though young people came to register in their numbers, we are concerned, extremely concerned, about the gadgets of the IEC that were not working. You know, in the past, we used to register. And when you register, you get some sticker that gets stuck on your ID. This weekend, we did not have anything. There's no receipt. There's nothing. You rely on a book that is handwritten, that is written by the presiding officer, that you hope that book will eventually reach the center where they're going to be kept. I mean, you've seen in Northwest already, there was a case of an alleged presiding officer who teared off the people who came to register. So the IEC must actually make it very easy for all stakeholders to declare these elections free and fair, because it is the stakeholders that must declare the elections free and fair. But at the rate at which the IEC is going, they're making it very difficult for us to say these elections were free and fair. With small things like that, like gadgets not working countrywide, how do you explain that? And you having books that you just went to buy at a shop, you know, at a mall, to write the names of people. You're not giving these people anything, no receipt, nothing. You then say to these people, wait for SMSs.
Right. Omphile, let me come in there.
Right now we're told that the online registration is gonna end tonight on the 20th. Those people that went to register, who do they have that they actually went to the voting stations to register to vote? Because the IEC did not give them anything.
I got you. Omphile, if I can come in there very quickly. Sorry to interrupt you. I hear your point very quickly and we're out of time, but are you saying the ways through which this voter registration weekend was conducted, insofar as the EFF is concerned, makes it difficult, potentially, for the party to be able to say comfortably that this is a free and fair election?
Until everybody that went to the voting stations received that so-called SMS as a confirmation that they are registered to vote. But as things stand, Ayanda, we are not confident about that, because already there's a case in the Northwest where a presiding officer has teared off the register. Now, suppose that you genuinely lose this book that you're writing on. What are we going to do with those people that came in to register? Because there might be cases where people genuinely lose the books that they were writing, because it's an exercise book. It can be lost, deliberately or not deliberately, you know. So I'm saying to you, why didn't the IEC give some sort of proof that, yes, indeed, you came, you visited the voting station. This is the evidence that you have visited the voting station, like they used to do in the past. If tomorrow people are not registered to vote, they've got nothing to show for it, to say, but I've got the sticker that comes from the IEC, from the visit that I visited, that confirms that I registered to vote. What are our people going to be showing? And these are, in the main, the young people that are voting for the EFF.
Right, got you, Omphile. All right, it's an important point. We'll hopefully be able to put it to the IEC when we speak to them in the next hour. For now, let me thank you for your time and for outlining for us what the EFF's plans and ambitions are as we count down the days, really, to the 1st of November. Omphile Maotwe is the EFF's Treasurer-General, joining us there from the capital. Thanks once again.